Hello, friends and readers. We are continuing to look at main idea and supporting details. The most important thing in a text and about a topic is the main idea or the big idea. When we talk about main idea, we are talking about what a text is mostly about. When we are looking for clues to help us find the main idea, we ask ourselves a couple things. What is the text mostly about? We can also look at titles and headings. We can look at pictures. Sometimes the main idea is stated in the first and last paragraph or sentences in a text. We also look for things that repeat themselves when we are reading an article or a text. Now, to find supporting details, they tell us how, what, when, where, why, how many, how much. Those supporting details go back to when we ask and answer questions. Those details we find in the meat of the text or the middle that support what our main idea is. When we think about the main idea, we think of a stool. The main idea is the top, and the stool can stand up with its legs because those details support what we are thinking and what the text is saying. So today I'm going to model for you again another article. When we're doing it, we are going to identify the topic, the main idea, and the supporting details. I really want to work through this so you guys can see what the expectation is for you and how you are going to find the main idea and supporting details in a text while you're reading. So I'm going to read this once, and then remember, when I'm trying to find the main idea and supporting details, I will reread my article. So the writers of the Constitution created 3 branches of government that share powers. The legislative branch is responsible for writing the laws. It is made up of the House of Representatives and the Senate. Voters elect representatives to serve in the legislative branch. The executive branch of the government is in charge of making sure the laws are enforced or being followed. The head of the executive branch is the president. The judicial branch of government is the branch that interprets the meaning of the Constitution and the laws. The judicial branch is made up of the federal courts. All 3 branches of government have different powers that are outlined in the United States Constitution. So, thinking right off the bat about the topic, this is about the United States Constitution and the branches of government. So, the U.S. Constitution would be the topic that we are reading about. Now, what is the main idea? Well, remember where we find our main idea sometimes. We can look at the first and last sentences of a text or a paragraph. So when I read this, I saw that the writers of the United States Constitution created 3 branches of government that shared power. Our last sentence says, all 3 branches of government have different powers that are outlined in the U.S. Constitution. So when I'm thinking about my topic, it's 1 or 2 words, and this is about the U.S. Constitution. When we look at our main idea, we are taking the beginning and the end and thinking about a sentence we can create to tell what the main idea of this article was. So in this case, the United States Constitution created 3 branches of government, which each have different powers. So that is what this article is really about. It's the Constitution and the branches of government and their powers. So why do you think the author included supporting details? Well, when we look to figure out what the supporting details are, we want our supporting details to connect to the main idea, which is that there are branches of government. Well, in this article, I can see that it says the legislative branch is responsible for writing the laws. So the legislative branch is one of the branches of the 3 government, or the one of the branches of the 3 branches of government. The executive branch of the government is in charge of making sure laws are enforced or are being followed. So the executive branch is the second branch of the government. And the judicial branch of the government is the branch that interprets the meaning of the constitutions and its laws. So over and over again here we have that theme of the laws being enforced in these branches of government. So when we look at our supportive details, we know that the legislator is a branch of the government that writes the laws. The executive branch makes sure the laws are being enforced. And the judicial branch interprets the meaning of the law. So judicial is the justice system. So like going to court and a judge deciding whether someone did something wrong or right. So when we look at the main idea and we look at these supportive details, we better understand what we have read. Now we know the three branches of government and we know what powers they hold and what they do. The other details that are included just inform us more, but these are the supporting details that really lead us to understand the branches of government and what they do specifically. So I read my text, I reread it, and I found my information in the writing and in the words of this article. So when you're doing the same thing, you need to look for the main idea and the details by looking at your text. Look for things that repeat, look for things that really stand out, that are important. Not just interesting, but important. So go ahead and continue to try to find the main idea of what you're reading.